we are learning that the United States has decided to impose a steep 50% tariff hike on all Brazilian imports starting from the 1st of August. Now, Donald Trump has made his comments in a letter to Brazilian president as well. And the US president also has been critical of the BRICS countries, of which Brazil is a key part. And in this letter that he has addressed to President of Brazil, Donald Trump has now criticized the treatment of, as far as when it comes to saying that Washington would have launched investigation into Brazil's trade practices as far as another list of the countries that have now been made public by Donald Trump, in which we are looking at steep hikes that has now been announced by Donald Trump's leadership, under which we are looking at these tariff hike and the deadline that has been extended now till the 1st of August. Now, after US imposed a 50% tariff on Brazil, Brazil has now hit back at Donald Trump, warning against a US tariff threat, saying that they will not bow down to such pressure tactics there, as Donald Trump has been sending more letters dictating high tariffs rates around the world. However, this is now coming across, is it a setback there? Srinjoy, good morning. As we are talking about more release of the letters, there are more countries now featuring in those lists, and of course a steep tariff hike that we are looking particularly in the way coming in for Brazil.
Yes, Brazil has been targeted, and there is a history between President Lula and President Trump. So far, President Lula has never met President Trump. And of course, there is a ideological difference, because President Trump was closer to President Lula's predecessor, President Bolsonaro. Now, President Lula of Brazil believes that President Trump has a problem with Brazil, and he has made it very clear. Now, as far as these tariffs are concerned, it must be remembered that a very significant percentage of Brazil's exports, which can be a variety of things, which can be iron and steel. A lot of iron and steel goes out of Brazil. A lot of aircraft and aircraft parts go out of Brazil. A lot of agricultural commodities, including coffee, go out of Brazil. Now, a lot of it goes to China. Huge exports of Brazilian products go to China. So even if there is a 50% tariff on Brazilian imports in America, the point that has to be made is it will certainly hurt Brazil. But as Brazil's most major trading partner is China, and China is also a member of BRICS, Brazil may be hurt, but not terribly hurt. It will not be a fatal kind of a problem for Brazil, because Brazil's favored trading partner remains China. If you are exporting thousands of billions of iron to China, then if you're being hit by the Americans, it will not hurt you so much. Brazil's exports, as I said, iron and steel, aircraft, agricultural commodities like coffee, a lot of it go to China. Yes. And that is something that will probably... Well,
as far as the BRICS platform is concerned, President Trump has not been very too happy with it, because recently the BRICS meeting that concluded in Brazil, and under the leadership of Brazil itself, it was criticized Trump's imposition of imports tariffs and his bombing in Iran as well. But this has drawn the US president's ire and a threat of 10% additional tariffs on each BRICS-aligned countries as well. However, President Lula has now insisted that BRICS members were sovereign and did not want an emperor. And it seems that this is a counter that has now come in from the President of the United States, where a steep 50% tariff hike has now been imposed on Brazil. But in the meantime, speaking of Donald Trump, now, as far as another list is now concerned, Srinjoy, there has been now new tariff rates that have been added, as far as 7 more countries feature in this additional list. That includes Brazil, of course, that we are talking about. And steep rate hike of 50% will apply on Brazil, 30% for Algeria, Iraq, Libya and Sri Lanka, 25% for Brunei, Moldova and 20% for the Philippines.
Well, of all these countries, none of them are major economic powers. Algeria, well, produces a lot of petroleum, but so does America. All these countries, the Philippines is close to America in many ways historically. But the point is, a lot of Filipinos work in America. Now, Philippines is not a major economic power, nor is Brunei, which is also known for its oil. But these two, or even Moldova, these are small economies, and they, as far as America is concerned, the kind of exports they have to America, for America, it's a very marginal thing. Because the two main countries here that have to be looked at are America and China.
Yes.
China is the world's largest exporter.
Yes.
And the largest exporter
so mainly,
to America.
Shinjoy, the point you're putting across that a number of these countries have received letters so far are relatively minor when it comes to U.S. trading partners as well. But another announcement that is made by President Donald Trump, I quickly have to go through